Good morning, everybody. Brr. Good morning on a freezing morning here in Melbourne, Florida. It's 35 degrees outside. I'm bundled up like an Eskimo, like I have been for the past day or two. And it's good to see you. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. Obviously, I'm Mitch. Here's the morning coffee. So, drink it if you got it. And I got an extra big cup of it today. Got my "You Magical Bastard" cup. That'd be me. I gotta savor that. It's chilly in the house here. It's chilly because why run the heat? So it's about, it's chilly for me. 68 degrees in the house is not chilly for a lot of people, but for me it is. So I bundle up. And the only problem I'm going to have with this cold is I guess I have to pass on the cigar if it's too cold to go out there and sit and smoke it. So life's little compromises. Good to see you all. Good to see everybody. We had a great Thursday night live stream last night. Very, very, very well attended. Amy, Rick, Peter, and Thomas chimed in later on. Were in the chat with us. We had a great discussion. Really gratifying. We talked about my video yesterday where I said no more annual physicals for me. The comments were amazing on that. In case you didn't hear my little commentary on it last night, I was really surprised. I was shocked. I expected the normal number of dissenters. Those people, no matter what you say, they always come blasting in with the opposite opinion to show that they're smarter than you and you're wrong. Not one of them. Not one. Not one person said, "That's a bad idea, Mitch, to skip your annual blood tests and physicals." Everybody was supportive. In fact, so many people said, "I did that 2 years ago. I did that 5 years ago." I was amazed. It also validated my decision a little bit. Made me feel less like a sore thumb sticking out from the crowd. It also means that I got a lot of, I think, smart and realistic people as viewers. It's obvious to me. You don't find the dummies and the average U.S. American citizen watching me. They're busy watching fat chicks on TikTok or something like that. But it is what it is. So we had a good time last night. Going to be doing it tomorrow night as well, Saturday Night Live. And I'd like to see if I can't keep building that up. Started to get more active on the channel, posting more videos, And that's the key in YouTube. In order to have more views and have your channel grow, you just got to stay on the treadmill. I'm happy doing that. Gives me something to do. So I haven't had a lot of aggravation from it, a lot of disappointment lately. Peter commented yesterday, Mitch, you seem happy lately. Yeah, I am. And full steam ahead, I guess. As long as you seem to respond, I'll continue to do it. It's easy to get a feeling every once in a while that you're irrelevant, you're not doing any good. Why bother? But I just enjoy it. So we'll keep going this morning. Brian Dish was the first one in. What time was that? 5:36 a.m. They must have, like usual, done away with all the pre-chat. So sorry about that, guys. I saw Kilty and the boys are all out there in California. Wow. Nelson did a good job this morning. Just he and Alia, and he fielded lots of questions, and he's a smart guy. I show you how out of it I am. I wasn't even aware that there's an event in Boca Raton next week. I'm going to have to check that out because that's not too far from me. So I'm going over to Kilts in February, but I'll check it out. And I don't know how many people are going to be there, but there's a slight chance that if it doesn't involve too much money or too much walking, I will consider going to it. I know Peter will be there. I wonder if it's going to be in Peter's house. No, I don't think so. Nelson said he was going to be there, so we'll see. Mike Seeley from Tampa Bay, good morning, and Wade Herman is here. How are you, Lucy? Work, good to see you, Lucy. Put QQQ in the chat if you want to steer the conversation in any direction, or you have a question you want to ask me about anything. Doesn't even have to be about carnivore. Mike Seeley, Melbourne, cold morning in Melbourne. Yes, says Mike, it is beyond chilly. It is below chilly. And Lori, hiya, sweetie. How you doing this morning? Good to see you. Good morning. I love this. What's better than going to sleep on a Thursday night with Mitch? I'd like to say there's nothing better than that, but that would be boasting on my I like it, waking up on a Friday morning with Mitch. I love it. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you. Tommy Vitarch. Good morning, Mitch and y'all. Mitch Fisk, good morning to you all too. Glenn Guthrie's here with us. Good morning, everybody from frigid, I imagine, North Georgia. This is one of those things that plunges down. I don't know if Rick's in the chat yet. I haven't gotten to it, but is it cold in Miami? Is it noticeably cold? Let's see, where were we? Captain America, Steve Rogers from Kansas City. Good morning, Steve. How are you? And Bride's Biscuit is here. How are you? Good morning, says my B and E. Good morning. Don't know your first name. If you put it in there, I'll try to remember it. Barry Simon, good morning. Good morning, Mitch, and all Friday Mitches. Yes, TGIF, or whatever that's worth. I think this morning I'm going to go on a little outing. I'm going to, very exciting, I'm going to go put gas in my car because that's my little dental adventure. I'm down to about an eighth of a tank. And I like to have a full tank, so I'm going to drive to that. And then I'm going to drive to the car wash. And then my car will be very happy, and I will have gotten out of the house for a little while. So that's the exciting, adventurous life of Mitch right there. And I'm happy with it. Rick, good morning to you, man. You're freezing. And Milton, good morning to you, too. Always like to say hi to Milton. Anthony is here. Hi, Anthony. Brian Dish was back now after chiming in for the stream. Don Schonger is here. Who got in for? Who was the first one in? Pardon me. It was Don Schonger, 7 o'clock, followed closely on his heels by my BBB&E, Lori Weitzel, Mary M. Good morning, Mitch and Mitch Fitz. Ebony talks. Hi, Ebony. How are you this morning? Donna Ray is here. Happy Friday to Mitch and our happy, healthy, and healing friends this morning. Yes, ma'am. I imagine it's pretty cold up there. And Lizzie's here. Hiya, Lizzie. How are you? Good to see you this morning. Marla Kelly says, good morning, all. Richard Williams. Williams chimed in. We're still 7 o'clock from Copper Hill, Tennessee. Rick says, nice weather here, Mommy. Wow, it's not that cold. Not that cold because Sandy Blythe says freezing in Florida, but that's the difference between North Florida and South Florida. I don't know. Maybe the front hasn't gotten to you yet down there, Rick. I don't know. Yes, Tanya's here. Hiya, Tanya. And it says, she says, Friday already. Mind-boggling. Mind-boggling how fast. Look, we're already past the middle. It's the 16th of January. 5 minutes ago is New Year's Eve. In 10 minutes, it'll be summertime, it seems. And it is true. Older you get, you perceive time moving quicker. It just happens. And the years go by faster and faster. It seems. They don't really. But time is a funny thing. Tammy says, coffee, yes, and Brian Dish. TGIF 2026 is yes. Yes, it is. Rick says 68 degrees. Oh, are you talking about your sleeping temperature? I don't know if it's that outside. Yeah, I normally don't air condition to 68 degrees because I don't care how warm it gets. I can sleep if it's 80. No problem. But anything lower than 68, man, I'm shivering. I've been in Florida so long, I'm used to it. See, who haven't I said hi to? Everybody's so busy conversating now. Jesus and Carnivore, good morning, Jesus. Morning everywhere. Yeah. How are you? Or is that Jesus and Carnivore? I have no way of knowing. Good to see you. Somebody new. Welcome. Welcome. Boston Danny's here with us this morning. Good morning, Danny. How are you? 17 here in Boston. Oh, my God. My God. And yeah, right. No cigar, Gary. You're damn right about that. Because I don't want to smoke in the house. Thomas is here. Hi, Thomas. How are you? How are you? How you feeling? Hope you're feeling well this morning. I got nothing in particular to talk about this morning. So I'm in no hurry to get through this. Jesus and Carnivore says, I haven't been to the doctor since 2017. More and more I'm beginning to think that's not a bad idea. But let me give you the big but. The big but answer. So if any of you think that I'm being a little bit frivolous or careless or serendipity about ignoring my annual physical, I did talk about last night that I'm not ignoring the possibility of a medical problem that might not be obvious by a symptom. And because I've decided not to, on any set schedule, get blood work every once in a while, I don't know. I'm not going to set a schedule for it because it doesn't matter. There are certain things I'm interested in because they affect how I execute this carnivore, especially in the area of supplementation. So I fully intend to get blood tests every once in a while, but only certain blood tests. I might get a lipid panel, like was suggested, for my entertainment, because it's going, right now I'm doing the best that I could do, and there's nothing I can do to make my lipids any better. They're going to be what they are, but it'd be fun to know. But not that I'm worried about it or I'm worried about any bad health outcomes from it, but what's my HDL to triglyceride ratio? And how screaming high is my LDL? I'm proud of my LDL. I think I subscribe to all the main analysis that I've shown that when you're metabolically healthy, which I consider myself, I have a high HDL, low triglycerides, and screaming high LDL and low body weight. Those are really the low BMI. Those are really the lean mass hyperresponder qualifications. I'm proud of my numbers and I feel great. And the meta-analysis, any legitimate attempt at trying to discover any correlation between the numbers and actual health, show that the people with the highest LDL, assuming they're healthy, have lived the longest and have the lowest incidence of heart disease and these other chronic diseases. That's a fact. I mean, that's just what the studies have shown. If you take out all the noise and the confounders and the statistical tricks and everything else they use to turn any test into an advertisement, they got it backwards, like the food pyramid. The medical community's advice on cholesterol needs to be flipped on its head. The most important thing to me is, do I need to take supplements or not? And that's not something you can guess at. You need to measure. And I'm not against measuring that. So vitamin D, yeah, I like to get a measurement every once in a while. Last one was 65, right in the middle of the range. But I haven't been, I cut back on the supplements. Because of my stroke, I cut back on the K2 because that's a coagulant. And the last thing you want to do when you're taking a baby aspirin to thin your blood is take another drug that's going to thicken it again. But I want to see what the levels of it are, because I eat tremendous amount of eggs, which are very nutrient rich, and I'm really convinced that I get almost every vitamin and mineral that I need, and fat and everything else in an egg. I'm an advocate for eggs, and if you don't have any bad reactions to them, I think they're the best thing that you can eat. I've got to the point now where I eat no less than 5 eggs every day. They're so full of. In fact, there's a. I'm going to put a link in the chat. Let me find it here. Give me 1 second. It's just dawned on me. I'm sorry, I'm not ready with it right now, but there is a YouTube video that I watched. And here it is. The title of it is, What Happens to Your Body When You Eat 4 Eggs Every Day? Now, it's an AI generated video, which I'm getting tired of watching these videos that are generated by AI with changing pictures, no real video, no real human talking, just changing scenes and text. But I will say that this was a tremendously, there's the link, and I suggest, I don't want to make a special video out of this, but after you watch this, you'll be amazed. I learned some things about what's in an egg that I had never heard before. And it's been called nature's perfect vitamin pill for a reason. I always say every molecule, every atom, everything needed to build life is sealed inside that egg and can't get out, and nothing else can get in. So after incubation, when that chicken starts, that live chicken starts breaking out the shell and hatching, there is no better proof. That's proof that any molecule, compound, vitamin, mineral, fat, protein, that life needs to happen is missing from an egg. It is impossible that an egg be nutrient deficient in anything. That's just logic. Of course, the chicken comes out and nothing went into that chicken. It's just that all the atoms and molecules that were in that yellow goo got rearranged into a live chicken and grew, and life happened. So it's chemistry. It's chemistry. So you eat the eggs. Try to get the best eggs you can. I eat 5, 6 a day sometimes. I have them one meal with the eggs and something else. Steak and eggs, hamburger patty and eggs, shrimp and eggs, salmon and eggs, bacon and eggs, anchovies or sardines and eggs, pork belly and eggs. But the eggs are constant. That people say to me, Mitch, you take vitamins? I say, yes, I do. I eat eggs. To me, the nutrients in an egg couldn't be any more bioavailable. And there's nothing in that egg that's going to be bad for any living animal. Just makes sense. And I don't know. I'm not conflicted, and I don't work for the Egg Council. In full disclosure. So I personally, and they may not be the best eggs in the world, but they're the best I can get at Sam's Club. I get their pasture-raised eggs. They're brown eggs. They come 18 to a flat and cost about $5. Now, that is not expensive food. Because out of that $5, I will get 4 meals, 3 or 4 meals. You can't beat that. Throw in a little meat of your choice. As long as you get protein, still try to get fatty protein. You can eat sausages with your eggs, bacon with your eggs. I like making seafood omelets. The only thing I don't put in my eggs are things like traditional people do: tomatoes, onions, peppers, all that plant poison. Don't ruin a perfectly good egg. So there's a video for you. I'll put it in again in case you missed it. There's the link again. It's interesting. It's a well done video, but it is AI generated. According to a script that was evidently well written and accurate. So that's the key to AI. You start with something worthwhile, you might end up with something worthwhile. But that's what I eat. So the blood tests, back to the blood tests, I think that I want to know what vitamins and minerals I need, find out what my magnesium, calcium, and all the other electrolyte levels are. Next thing is very important to me. One of the most important things to know is your systemic inflammation. The best test for that, an HS-CRP. CRP means C-reactive protein. The VA does not do the HS-CRP test. The C-reactive protein is an okay test. But the HS, which means high sensitivity, is better. Most of the tests that I want probably wouldn't total more than a couple $100. I could go to the VA, but they won't do any of the tests that I'm really interested in. I don't know whether to let them do the basic metabolic panel, the lipids. They can do the vitamin D, but they will not do an HSCRP. They will not do a cysteine C, which is a terrific test for kidney function, whereas the EGFR that most labs do can be terribly misleading, and especially if you are prioritizing fat as fuel. If you're a carnivore, your creatinine is going to be sky high because that's a waste product of fat burning. People who live on Twinkies and plants have low levels of creatinine. Well, they use creatinine levels in the blood as an indicator to calculate the glomerular filtration rate of the kidneys. So if you're a carnivore, chances are some doctor's going to tell you you're in kidney failure, you need to see a nephrologist, which is what they do to me every time I see a urologist. Oh, you're in stage 2 kidney failure. I say, fuck you, doc, and walk out the door. They're ignorant. Ignorant. So I want to get that cysteine C, cystatin C, excuse me. What am I thinking? Cystatin C, CYSTATIN, cystatin C. Not cysteine, that's something else. Cystatin C test. They all sound the same. The one that people really mix up is creatine and creatinine. That'd be good to know. That'd be good to know. So there are some tests I am going to get. If I get them, the ones that the VA won't do for me, and I can get my primary to order any test I want that they'll do just by sending her a message. If not, I'll just pay for them. I'll go to ownyourlabs.com, which is Dave Feldman's deal. He works with LabCorp. So anywhere there's a LabCorp place, you go online, ownyourlabs.com. I'm not affiliated with that. I don't get anything. I'm not selling it. It's just I think a great service. So I'm recommending it. Prices are reasonable. You can get an NMR lipid profile, nuclear magnetic resonance profile, which is the one that tells you whether you have small dense LDL, big fluffy LDL, how many LDL particle count, and even includes an insulin resistance marker score, which is calculated. And you can get that. I can't get that at the VA. So if I was interested in any lipid panel that actually was really meaningful, and I think it's $28, I would buy the NMR panel from Own Your Labs. And you get an email and they'll tell you, automatically go to any LabCorp and they'll have it on their computer and you get your blood drawn, and we will in a few days, communicate with you probably by email with the results. It doesn't need a doctor's order. It doesn't go, the results only go to you. It's a great thing if you don't want your medical data splattered all over the world in every database on the planet. So I'm not being irresponsible by saying I'm not going to. I just once a year to go in there when I have nothing wrong with me, go through the drill, the absolute drill of sitting for 15, 20 minutes with a nurse in front of a computer, answering the same asinine questions that I've answered so many times, questions that have nothing to do with my health, because the VA wants to make sure that I'm not a serial killer waiting to happen. And I can understand that, because being in a war does damage many veterans, and they come back screwed up as hell with all kinds of mental conditions, suicidal thoughts. And the VA goes at great lengths to delve into these things, to try to identify those people who they think might need that, help and counseling for that. So you get questions like, how often every day do you have thoughts of killing other people? What? And then they go into the woke shit, which I can't believe. How do you identify sexually, they say? I sit down and I answer those questions. I say things like, what the hell do you think I identify as? I identify as a coffee table. Isn't that obvious? And they're typing and 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 typing. They're writing a goddamn book the whole time I'm sitting there answering questions. And then when I get done with the stupid nurse who does not know now and never will know how to take a proper blood pressure, I go in and see my primary, who's a nurse practitioner. Nice woman. I'm very fond of her. But all she does is sit in front of the computer and type. The whole time we're talking, she's typing. By the time we get done, they've written a book about me every year. They hardly even touch you anymore in a physical exam. You never have to take your shirt off anymore. They just listen to your heart through the back of your shirt. That's the only time they touch you. Not that I go there to be touched, but I would think that if you're going to give somebody a physical exam, you're going to have to touch them. You got to press on their abdomen and see how big, if they have a swollen liver. I mean, tap on there to see if their lugs sound how. There's just so many things that I think should be done in a physical. You don't even have to take your shoes off in these physicals. So I said to myself, why bother? Why bother? Every year at a set schedule to go through that drill, I have to answer all those freaking questions again when I can manage my own health and use them when I need them. And the secret is to be able to be in tune with your body and recognize when something is a little off that you need to try to figure out why. But if you have nothing off and you take no drugs or prescriptions that need monitoring, and you have no chronic conditions like me, and you're healthy and in good shape like me, I say, why the hell do I need a doctor? I don't need a doctor. Do I need a car mechanic on my car? Is running fine? Do I have to take my car mechanic, once a month so they can bless it? It's dumb. It's dumb. Maybe we just over-maintain. We over-maintain the human body. Okay, I got off track, but that's why we're here. You all are chatting away. Let me see if anybody has put a question in here yet. Hang on 1 second. Let's do this. F3, QQQ. What do we got here? My BBB says a friend says her dad is in emergency and has large kidney stone. They want to do surgery. Sharon from Florida. Well, for large kidney stones, they may call it surgery. The most common thing they do is bust them up with sound waves. Lithotripsy, it's called. You sit down in a big tub of water and they just blast that with high frequency sound waves, and it actually busts up the big kidney stone. Now you got a great many small kidney stones. Just because you bust it up doesn't mean it goes away. So what they normally do before a lithotripsy is they go in and they put stents in your ureters, which are the tubes. They're about this long, I guess, that run from the kidneys to the bladder. And that's where the kidney stone pain and agony comes from. When a kidney stone, usually, let's say, any bigger than 3 or 4 millimeters, finds its way into the ureter. These stones are jagged little buggers, and that's when we get that most painful thing that can happen to a human being. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. Hang on a second. Let's see if I got it here. Kidney stone, 10/2024. Hang on. Somebody said to me, have you ever had a kidney stone? I say, yes. Yes, I have. I'm going to try to show it to you without losing it. Where is it? There they are. Can you see that? I don't want to bend it over. Let me try to maybe hold one of them up. There's 2 of them I passed. This one, oh, I dropped it. Sorry. I'm going to have to find it. Fell on the floor probably. I can't show it to you. I don't have it. I should have a tweezers. I should have a tweezers, but I'll find it. It's down there. We'll worry about that later. Not that it's that valuable, but it was about 1/8 of an inch across, and I passed it. Any bigger than that, they generally aren't going to be moving in the kidney. They don't move around. The reason I started passing all these stones that I had was because I went on a carnivore diet, stopped eating oxalates, and they shrank. And the downside of having them all shrink is that as they get smaller, then they start to move and eventually find their way out, and you pass them. But before you have the lithotripsy, they stent. They put a stent in the ureter. Again, all these medical terms sound the same. They put a stent in the ureter, and the kidney stones, the small little pieces, can be passed without too much grief. I had a friend who just had that procedure. He just had that procedure, and they called it surgery, but they call when they place a stent in you surgery too. So everything is surgery, according to the. I guess they can charge more when they call it surgery. So I don't think I have any. I may have one kidney stone left in there from the 8 that I discovered probably 5 years ago. I think I passed all of them but one, because I had one that was about a centimeter, 10 millimeters, which is a good sized stone. And it's shrinking. And I think eventually it'll get small enough where I'll pass it. And hopefully I won't have a lot of grief. I've had 2 of them that took me to the hospital so far in that 5 or 6 year period of time. 2 of them that got stuck in the ureter. And that's the what you described as, at least what happened to me, was writhing on the kitchen floor at 1 o'clock in the morning, puking my guts out with the worst pain I ever felt in my life, coming in waves separated by 15 minutes. That's not something. And it all comes, here's the crazy part. It's all brought to you by the government dietary guidelines and recommendations, and all of the food companies that have you believing that superfoods like spinach and almonds and dark chocolate are the things that are going to make you healthy. The highest oxalate containing foods on the planet, and they've got everybody thinking they're helping themselves when they are doing nothing but poisoning themselves with tremendous amounts of oxalates, potentially life-ruining when you start dumping them, which is what I've been doing for years, and I'm still dumping them. You dump them through your eyes. You dump them through your skin. They're terrible. They're terrible. And we shouldn't be eating oxalate-containing foods, but somehow we manage to get them labeled by the so-called smart people as superfoods. Beef is a superfood. Eggs are a superfood. Nothing that grows from the ground as a plant is, in my estimation, a superfood. So that's my reality. I don't know who else believes it. Next question says, do you think the removal of the word carnivore from your channel, this is from Jerry Voitish, has affected how many YouTube viewers watch it? No, I really don't think so. I don't think it makes any difference. I removed the word nothing happened. The video yesterday, I have a funny feeling I understand why it triggered something in YouTube's algorithm. The main thing that accounts for whether a video is successful is very simple. Not how good the video is. They put it out to the people who watch all your videos first. If a greater majority of those people watch it than your usual videos, YouTube sees it as something that they think will draw more views if they start pushing it out to people who are not familiar with me. So when you release a video with a intriguing enough thumbnail, an interesting enough topic, like claiming I'm done with my annual physicals, a thumbnail that is not clickbait, but get your interest, like the one I put on that video that says, count me out, with a picture of a emergency room bed and a circle with a line through it around it. Very simple. That my viewers immediately looked at that and probably said, is Mitch quitting YouTube? That wasn't what I said. I said, I quit, no more annual physicals for me, but they see the words I quit and they click on it. Is clickbaity? Yeah. I've learned after years and years and years on YouTube that if you don't make your video appeal to be something that people must know, got to find out, what's he talking about? It never goes anywhere. Because if it doesn't go somewhere out of the gate, YouTube forgets it. And you end up with a video that ends up with 600, 700, 800 views on a channel that has 45,000 subscribers. It doesn't sound like it could possibly be. 44,000 of those subscribers were never even notified that I put out a video by YouTube. Believe me. The only way they would ever find my videos would be if they looked at their subscriber feed. And even then, sometimes, if you're subscribed to a channel and you haven't been there in a while, they don't even show up in your subscribed feed. So, or your subscriber feed. Trying to second guess YouTube, we're at their mercy. You just got to keep chugging. What happens will happen. And yesterday's video still is a failure, believe it or not. After all, it's brilliant compared to my recent videos and got over 7,000 views. It earned me about $30. So far from Ferrari money like Mr. Beast and Casey Neistat and so many of the other YouTube stars that get millions of views, because YouTube knows that one of their videos is going to sell a lot more advertising than one of good old Mitch, who's sitting ranting about how stupid things are. And I understand that, and I don't take it personally. So I don't think removing the word carnivore for the name, the handle is still Old Guy Carnivore. There's still the word carnivore in the description of the videos. YouTube's algorithm search everything and try to put together what it is. And for me to get away from carnivore, I would have to start a brand new channel that had nothing to do with diet at all, nothing to do with health at all, nothing to do with anything that I talk about. So far removed, I would have to get a new email address so that Google wouldn't pair it with my other channels and use that information. I'd have to become a whole new person, it seems, with a whole new identity, totally unlinkable to Mitch Weiss. And that's almost impossible to do these days, because Google knows the IP address that my computer's coming from, and they link that to me. There's so much information about each of us that privacy does not exist anymore. And if you think you can hide from somebody who's really trying to find you, you're mistaken. You're mistaken. You may as well just put your name and address in the phone book and make it public. It just seems unlisted phone numbers don't matter anymore, if they even have such a thing. And if you think that do not call list is going to stop people from robocalls, think again. The only defense against all that stuff is just to keep blocking them and get ad filters and things, and they don't like that, so they make it hard on you when you do that. Next question, let's see what we got here, if any more. Remember, Mitch, if you don't ask, you don't get. Peter says, yes, thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter. He's talking about buy me a coffee. I have not had anybody, I haven't asked for anybody say, if you want to help support me and yada, yada, here's a link to buy me a coffee. Let me put it in the chat here, and I'm going to ask today because it's been a week. I wondered what happened. Did my buy me a coffee link stop working? People are very, there are certain people that are very consistent. It's been a week. Been a week since I had a coffee and got a coffee. And I don't think about that, but I do appreciate it, and it does help out. It does help out. Ah, my phone went off. Somebody buy me a coffee? I don't know, but my phone went ding. Barry Simon bought me 5 coffees. Thank you, Barry. I can count on you. Thanks a lot, my friend. I really appreciate that. But no, I think it's true. Peter said, if you don't ask, you don't get. Barry says QR code. Have been using the vibration blade. No, I haven't been using it every day. About every other day I step on the thing. Maybe I'm getting lazy, but I'm glad you reminded me, Barry. I will do it today in your honor. And I do have this QR code here. I haven't tried the one that Barry sent me yet, but I do have one up here. Barry created a QR code that says "Buy me a coffee" on the top. And one of these days, I will replace this one with that one, but I have to check it out first. And I thank you for that, Barry. But that QR code will take you right to the Buy Me a Coffee link. Don't all rush at once, because I wouldn't want you to hurt yourself in the stampede. That's sarcasm, folks. And there's no obligation for that either. So thank you, Peter, for helping me promote my channel. And we're back to the other. Yeah, I don't get the kind of questions that I don't get near the kind of questions that a doctor would get, like Nelson got this morning, one after another, medical type questions, and I don't want to answer those. I might know the answer to a lot of them, but I really do not put myself out there as a qualified medical professional. That may be an oxymoron, come to think of it. Most medical professionals that I come in contact with have the wrong answers to most questions I might ask them. So how qualified are they actually? Qualified medical professional. That is an oxymoron. I declare it today to be an oxymoron. You all, I'm assuming you all know what an oxymoron is. All right, I'll tell you, for the 1-2 people may not have heard it, because it's not a word that's used normally in human interactions. An oxymoron means 2 words placed next to each other that totally contradict each other. Like jumbo shrimp. Oxymoron. Shrimp means, the way we use it, it's tiny. How can a shrimp be jumbo? Military intelligence. Those are all oxymorons. And qualified medical professional, I think, qualifies as an oxymoron. But Lori Whiteson bought me a coffee. Thank you, Lori. Very sweet of you. Thank you so much. Thanks for putting up with my antics. I love your antics, Lori. I love your antics. Are you kidding me? You keep it up. You keep it up. I look forward to that. I do. So thank you. Thank you so much. And so far, that's it, but that's great. Thank you. I don't expect everybody to buy me a lot of coffees, and maybe you don't have any reason to. I don't buy many other people coffees. Oh, man, I'm glad I got this big cup today. This cup, my daughter gave it to me as a Christmas present this year. I think that's supposed to be Snoopy in a chair with a unicorn spike on his head. You magical bastard. I love it. I just absolutely love it. It's got I love the color of it. It's a cup. And I said this before. I think it's a Hallmark cup, because, I'm surprised that the word bastard would show up on a Hallmark. But Hallmark is getting a little more frisky these days. So let me just peruse the chat. What are you all talking about now? Everybody's conversating with everybody else. Military intelligence. Yes, Anthony, that is one of the most obvious oxymorons. Barbara 11111. Good morning. Blessings to each of you. Enjoy your coffee. Welcome to you. Thank you. Thank you. DS111 is here. How you doing, DS111? Tanya's chatting away there, and Lori is always remember to chat, always very active. Lori says, Mitch, I have heard of videos going viral months later. Yeah, I've heard of that too. It has never, not once, ever happened to me. Some people go back to their old videos and redecorate them. They go back and revisit them, change the description, change the title, and create a new thumbnail for the same video. And you can do that. It won't be pushed like a new video, but you can refer to it and promote it in the end screens where the windows pop up with watch this, watch with the other videos to watch. You can rehash an old video and give it new life if you want to work that hard. And that's how come some old videos, other people make new videos with the same title. Ken Berry does this all the time. He'll re-release a video as a new video that was released, let's say, in 2023. And after the title, he'll put in parentheses 2026. You can do that too. You can re-upload an old video, try to give it new life with a new thumbnail. And people do that, but that's not an old video going viral. That's taking an old video and re-releasing it and having it go. It would be like if they brought out an old movie and re-released it in the theaters and it was popular. It's like a new movie because nobody would have found it if they hadn't re-released it, because theaters don't routinely go back and play really old movies unless there's a special reason to. It's a great mystery, this YouTube thing. Awful lot of energy wasted trying to figure out how they work. And just as soon as you get it figured out, as soon as you know the rules of the game, as soon as maybe you think you got it working for you, they completely change the rules. And what you had learned is not valid anymore. And the only people who benefit from all these rule changes are the guys that have YouTube channels that do nothing but tell you how to navigate the YouTube algorithm, and it gives them an excuse for a new video. And you see them, I see them every day, 3, 4, 5, 10 of them in my feed. You must know these reaching 2026 changes to YouTube. You're screwed if you don't. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what goes on this platform. The deception, the fraud. It's horrible. It's horrible. But we do it because where else can I reach the entire world with my face if they want to watch? Nowhere do I get this kind of bandwidth and You know, if 1 million people decided they wanted to watch my stream this morning, 1 million people, think of the bandwidth that's needed and the network infrastructure to send this stream live to 1 million different devices around the world. YouTube can do that. YouTube, whereas if I set up a server and put a video on it that people could watch, as soon as I got 5 people trying to watch it at the same time, it stopped working, and you start getting a little bit of video and then the circle going around, and then a little bit of video and the circle. It's bandwidth, and nobody's got the bandwidth like companies like Amazon, Google. And that's why Netflix and certainly Amazon Prime use Amazon and its network infrastructure to stream. So I don't know if they still do it, but probably. But when you watch Netflix, it's being streamed on Amazon-owned infrastructure. When you watch YouTube, it's being streamed on Google-owned infrastructure. And I wouldn't be surprised if these guys are renting bandwidth from each other sometimes, like a subcontractor. Good morning, John Beatty. How are you? Northwoods Trains. Question, Mitch, is your electrolyte video still accurate to your daily carnivore? Yes, it is. In fact, I'm almost at the bottom of my last batch and getting ready to mix up some more, but it seems to be doing pretty good. Now, occasionally, I get a cramp. I'll get some cramps, which is a good symptom of low magnesium. Or if my bathroom adventures aren't exactly as I want them, that's a symptom for me. And I use magnesium citrate in my mix simply because it has laxative effects. There are other ways to get your magnesium. Magnesium glycinate being one of the more popular of the alternatives. But magnesium glycinate does not have a laxative effect. Magnesium citrate, everybody knows citrate of magnesium. Everybody knows that that's a laxative. They sell it in liquid form with carbonation, and you can buy it. Citrate of magnesia, they sell it, the most single popular laxative on the planet. Milk of magnesia is magnesium citrate, and that's what I use. So if I hate to do the bathroom talk, but if I'm leaning a little towards being constipated, maybe I haven't eaten enough fat, I do have some 200 milligram magnesium citrate supplements. And I might take one of them when I take my aspirin my baby aspirin in the middle of the day. And I do that for 2 or 3 days, and everything goes back to the way it should be. And that's about the only thing I take besides a drop or two of iodine, usually every few days, not every day. That's all I supplement. That's all. I was supplementing the creatine and the leucine, but after I found out how much leucine there is in eggs, in the 5 eggs I eat, I have no need to supplement anymore. And that's the beautiful thing about carnivore is you can get everything you need from a small variety of some of the highest nutrient-dense foods on the planet. And the amazing thing that happens is eating those foods lets your body find itself in food freedom, where all of a sudden food is not an entertainment thing anymore. And it loses its importance, and your cravings go away because your body is happy. It's got everything as you need. Well, listen, my friends, let's call it a week. It's Friday morning. It is after 8 o'clock. I hope it warms up where you are. I hope it warms up where I am. I'll be back tomorrow night at 7 for Saturday Night Live, and looking for a nice crowd. The evening live streams, both of them this week, were great. I love that. I love the panels. I love talking to you guys. I love trying to encourage you to come in and join us and not be afraid and not be shy or bashful. And occasionally we do get some new people, and it's always great. Always great. So say goodbye to your friends in the chat, and we'll get out of the way for whoever wants to live stream next. I don't know if Aaron's coming on today, but and if I miss saying hi to anybody in the chat, hi. I'll say it now. Y'all have a nice day. Jerry Bell, my friends in chat, have a great weekend, says Tammy. Show's over already, says Peter. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it to an hour, and Ollie finished a minute and something early today. I don't like to just cut it off, but when I see it's at an hour, I figure, let me just wind it down, take a few minutes to get out of here. If I knew there was somebody coming on exactly at 8 o'clock every day, I'd get out of the way. Get out of the way for them. Don't forget to find your kidney stone, Mitch. Thank you. You have to find my little kidney stone. God, that's going to be like a needle in a haystack, but it couldn't have gone anywhere, so I'll find it. All right. With the music ending, I will say take the rest of the day off and eat meat.